that tripartite prescription provides the necessary fiscal stability, catalyses the required structural supply, and enforces the preventative discipline needed to dismantle the expensive and devastating social failure we currently face. It requires a brave shift from mitigating the crisis' symptoms to addressing its deep-seated economic and systemic root causes. A staggering 2.8 billion taxpayer expenditure that was last fiscal year 24-25 is not just a cost, it's a definitive measure of systemic failure. Costs are skyrocketing. Financial hemorrhage presents a profound moral and financial investment opportunity, and we need to bring those together. We've got to recognise that every pound we spend on short-term, high-cost emergency shelter is unproductive. It buys temporary space, it doesn't buy stability, perpetuates a crisis where a family is being made homeless or threatened with homelessness every 5 minutes. It isn't ending anytime soon under the current plans and structure. So what's the investment opportunity? This is the core argument of a sensible macroeconomist the Treasury might listen to, right? Is ending the cost of crisis cycle, achieve it by converting crisis-driven revenue expenditure into long-term capital investment. The government has already recognised the need for major capital investment, committing that 39 billion. It's the biggest boost to social and affordable housing in a generation. However, the urgency dictates that we must accelerate this by leveraging the immediate, enormous and recurring stream of TA funding. If you could just use a fraction of the 2.8 billion and rising was redirected into long-term institutional affordable housing finance, we could get multi-fold returns from that. A fiscal dividend, right? Redirecting that high-cost short-term rental payment, providing guaranteed stable funding for the construction and acquisition of permanent, genuinely affordable homes. Every completed unit reduces the demand on the statutory system, and that directly curtails the need for that £950 million local authority housing fund dedicated to emergency homes. This transforms a continuous high-rate revenue drain into a productive, depreciable assets. What about superior social return? Ending that reliance on high-cost, poor-quality emergency mitigates the devastating social impacts observed in crisis conditions. Hidden homelessness shows precarious and transitory living situations significantly harm mental health, physical health, and sleep. 81% of people suffer with sleep problems in temporary homeless situations. So if we had some stable permanent homes, we could break that cycle of complexity, dependence and trauma that results in long-term public sector burdens across health, social care and justice systems, where the government's own linked data research is seeking to understand more. What about if we end policy negligence? Well, this redirective strategy shifts the primary focus from managing the failure, the 2.8 billion TA bill, to securing success, which is measured by permanent affordable housing stock. It's the only economically rational way to sustain the ambition of this national plan to end homelessness, which aims to ensure homelessness is a rare, brief and not repeated.